Hello, dear students. My name is Olga Vladislavna, a teacher of English, Semey Intellectual School. If you want to answer one very important question, how to speak English in a good way, the answer is only one. Practice, practice, and practice. Dear students, I want you, after watching this video, guess what will we speak about this lesson, and of course guess who is this boy and what competition is it. Okay, I think that many of you have known that the boy's name you watched in this movie is Nurem Kudaibergen, and this boy is from Astana, and his record is 39.97 seconds in single of International Rubik's Cube Championship. So, topic for this lesson today will be competitions and mental board games, and we are going to revise the infinitive as grammar part of our lesson. And objectives for this lesson are to revise the usage of the infinitive, do some listening and reading activities on the topic, read and enlarge topical vocabulary, learn some national and local mental games, and of course learn some interesting facts on this topic. As a warm-up exercise, I advise you do the following. After reading the explanation, definition, your task is to guess the word which is in the box. So these words are winner, rules, pieces, opponent, counters, loser, beat, board, and strategy. So, in your copybooks, you should put 9 figures. Number 1, the opposite of the loser is, the opposite of the winner is, the person who are playing against, the things you know, must know and obey when you play a game, the things you use to show who you are and how many points you have, the ways of playing that will help you win, what chess uses instead of counters, what the winner does to the loser, and where you put the counters or pieces in a game. Are you ready? Okay. Number 1 in your copybooks should be winner, loser, opponent, rules, counters, strategies, pieces, beat, and board. Now I want you to be in groups of some people, it can be 4 or 5, and your task is to tell in 2 minutes what is the difference between permutation and combination. And you are right. Permutation is a way, especially one of several possible variations, in which a set or a number of things can be ordered or arranged. And combination is a joining or merging of different parts or qualities in which component elements are individually distinct. All famous mental and board games require the law of permutations or the law of combinations. Now, I want you, in the same group, answer me several questions. Do you know inventors of famous board games such as De Bono, Bartz, Yoko with his Game Boy, Backgammon, Rubik's Cube? Then, do any of these games require permutation or combination to win? And which Kazakh inventors could be included in a class fact file? If you have made this discussion, let's go further. Is there a game inventor from each continent? What kind of games do you do? Which thinking skills are involved in mental board games? Remembering, analyzing, deducing, evaluating, or creative thinking? Answering this question is very important because today we speak about different international and local board games and mental board games. Now I want you in your group to make a little research. You should make an inventor profile. The first in your profile should go the name, then date of birth, what is he or she known for, country the inventor worked. Number 5, if he or she had hardships or challenges. Number 6, relationship with the natives. And 7, one fascinating fact about this inventor. As an example, I can show you some projects of the students. The inventor, by name Bartz. His name, date of birth, you can see on this slide. Known for he was an American architect, famous for inventing the board game Scramble in 1938. Country the inventor worked by. Hardship and challenges. During the Great Depression, he was unemployed. Relationship with the natives. Unemployed architect, a graduate of Pratt University 1948, came up with a small board game called Scrabble. He sold it to the Macy department store in 1952. Since then, the world has sold 150 million sets of the game for an evening for family entertainment. And the fascinating fact about this inventor is that he was an amateur artist and 6 of his drawings were acquired by the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Very interesting, isn't it? And the other research of the students. In the 1970s, Ernest Rubix worked at the Department of Interior Design at the Academy of Arts and Crafts in Budapest. He is known in respect of his huge puzzles and game, for instance, Rubik's Cube, 1974. Rubik lives in Budapest the whole his life. In 1980, the amount of cubes were decreased in Hungary. He lives in suburb of Budapest with his wife. Actually, he has 4 children. Despite of his age, he works in projects, creates new video games. And in 1980 he got a record sum from USSR by his cube. The cost in his country was 15-20 rubles. It's also one fascinating fact from his biography. Now we are going to look at the Yoko inventor from Japan. His date of birth. He is known for very famous games. Country, Japan. During his life, he didn't expect any hardships. Relationship with the native, he was unknown by average Japanese people. However, his creations were popular in the whole world. And he was very successful engineer of Japan. And another project of the students are Edward de Bono. He is a physician, author, inventor, and consultant. He works were published in Great Britain. He originated the term lateral thinking, wrote the book Six Thinking Heads, and he is a proponent of the deliberate teaching of thinking as a subject in schools. Many philologists said that his views were the biggest barrier on the way of human progress. Thousands of schools around the world use training program according to the de Bono's procedures. In 1990, Dr. de Bono was invited to chair a meeting of Nobel laureates from the whole world. His meeting was held in Korea. Did you like the projects? Okay. I think your projects will be also done in an effective way. Now we are going to make some vocabulary work. Please look on the left side. You can see here 12 words of vocabulary: border, bowl, calculate, dedicate, expert in weight, irritated, metaphor, obsessed, rectangular, smooth, and wooden. And on the left you will see exercise. Your task, while I will read the story or sentences, your task is to put in words from the left side. All in all, match the words in the first table to the definition in the second table. Number A is an adjective to describe something made of wood. B, when something has the shape of a rectangular, the surface of the table was perfectly not at all rough after it had been cleaned. I always have a of cereal for breakfast. You can't eat cornflakes from a plate. He is an on all kinds of games. He knows all about them. She was very good at maths. She could the answers to lots of difficult problems in her head. We continue the task. Andrew was totally to studying English. He spent 8 hours every day doing it. My brother is completely by football. He can't think or talk about anything else. I found myself getting by that man who kept on shouting all the time. He made me feel really angry. J. Is the frontier between two countries or regions? K. In the second half of the match, United started 2 cities, half of the field, despite strong defense. And the last one is when you say that something is like something else. Again, please look on the left side in the first table and the answers to the second table. And the right answers are the following. Number 1, wooden. Number 2, rectangular. 3, smooth. 4, ball. 5, expert. Calculate, dedicate, obsessed, irritated, border, in weight and metaphor. Now, I think for you it will be very interesting to read a very old story about a game of Go read by Chris Rose.
Hello, and welcome to this recording brought to you by the British Council.
A Game of Go by Chris Rose. Two people sit down opposite each other to play a game. Between them is a large wooden board. The board is rectangular in shape, and it has black lines drawn on it. There are 19 horizontal lines and 19 vertical lines, making 361 small black squares on the brown wooden board. Each player has some stones. The man has 180 white stones, and the woman has 181 black stones. All the stones are round and smooth. The white ones are made from the shells of clams. The black ones are made of slate. They have the stones in wooden bowls next to the board. When it is time to start playing, they slowly take the lids off the bowls. One of the players is an old man. He is now 89 years old. He has spent all of his life playing this game, which is called Go. There are many other names for this game in the many parts of the world where it is played, but Go is the most common. The man has been playing Go since he was a small child. His father showed him how to place the big, heavy stones on the board when he was 3 years old. He has never stopped playing since then. He is now the most famous player of Go in the world. People from all over the world call him the Master. People come from all over the world to play against him. Some people want to try and beat him. Most people only want to watch and learn from him. The Master thinks that the game of Go is an art, and he thinks that he is an artist. He does not know how many games of Go he has played in his life, but thinks that even if he has played many thousands of games, then he has still not made anything near the number of possible combinations there are for this game. This game is very, very simple and very, very complicated. The two players place the stones they take from their opponent in the upturned lid of the wooden bowls. It will continue like this until one player can take no more stones. Then they will start to play again. They will play many games until they eventually know who is the winner. The other person is a young woman. The young woman has only been playing Go for 3 years. This is not a very long time. It takes years to become an expert in this simple but complicated game. Before this, the woman was an expert at playing computer games. She was a computer games champion, and she won competitions in all types of computer games. She played in tournaments in Los Angeles, Tokyo, and Munich, as well as many online tournaments with people from all over the world. When she thought she could not win any more computer games, she looked for other games to play. She enjoyed playing poker. She became an expert at chess. But nothing captured her imagination like the simplicity of placing black or white stones on a simple wooden board. She studied hard and practiced a lot, the way she always did. She played to win. She thought of the game as a science. She calculated all the possible variations, using a computer to analyze techniques and strategies. She became a human computer when she played. She played Go the same way she had played computer games, by becoming a machine herself. Both players are dedicated. Both players are obsessed. Both players think about nothing else but the game of Go from the moment they wake up until the moment they sleep. And even then they do not stop thinking about Go, as they have dreams about great games in which they always win. Neither is married. Neither has ever been in love with anything except the game of Go.
When I was your age, it would have been impossible for us to play together,
he says to her. They speak very little during the game. Why? She asks.
Young lady, you have not studied the history of this game. In the past, women did not play Go.
There is silence again. She might be irritated by the old man's comment, but now she is playing Go, and so she feels no emotions. Her mind is not listening to the man, but calculating all the possible ways of placing her next stone. The old man, on the other hand, tries to listen to the woman very carefully. He watches her and studies her, looks at the movements of her hands and of her face. This is not only because he thinks that she is very beautiful. It is also because by understanding a person, he knows how they will play. When he understands how a person moves, he understands their character. And when he understands their character, he understands their game. This has always helped him to win. By placing the stones on the board, they both try to invade each other's space, each other's territory. White stones invade a black bordered area. Black stones try to fill a white bordered area. At the end of each game, the board is a map of two countries, one black and one white. The board is a map of their minds. Black and white mix together. Each player is learning something from the other. He wins the first game, and the second, and the third. The woman's face shows no emotion, and the man is confused. He agrees to continue playing. She wins the next game, and the man is shocked. This has never happened to him before. He rarely loses, and he has never lost to a woman. The two players place their stones on the board using only their fingers, not their thumbs. It is necessary to think very carefully about where to put the stones and to hold them properly. A long time passes between each move. They do not place the stones in the squares. This is not a game like chess or draughts, but on the corners where the lines meet. The old man worries about the way the young woman is playing the game. He does not recognize her style, her strategy. He can't read her face. He does not understand her. Sometimes he thinks that he does not understand the world around him any longer. "The way I think about the game," says the woman, "is that it is a series of steps for getting what I want." Again the old man is surprised. For him, the game is a way of life, life itself, and not a model of life. He worries about the dignity of the game, the elegance of the board. She worries about getting points.
"There is no more beauty any longer. Everything is science and rules. Everything is about winning. Nothing is about playing," he says.
"What sense does a game have if you don't win?"
"The playing is the sense,"
replies the man. People have been playing this game for 3,000 years. Sometimes the two players think this game will last 3,000 years. The man feels like he has been playing Go for 3,000 years.
"This game was invented by generals. They used it to work out strategies for war. They used the stones to map out positions," he tells her. "And then they decided that it was better to have a game than have a war."
"Are we at war now?" she asks. He wants to say no, but does not know how to reply. "There is another story," says the young woman. "Go began when witches threw stones to tell fortunes."
"Will this game tell our fortune?"
"It is better to play a game than try to tell the future," she says, and he is surprised again. This time he is surprised by how wise her words are.
"The future is a game that has already started. The future is waiting to see who the winner is," he says. "Every move you make determines what will happen in the future."
They play Go for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, they know that their final game is close. The final game will decide who is the winner and who the loser.
"A game is a metaphor for life."
No, life is a metaphor for a game. They cannot agree, but it is not necessary. They both look at the Go board in silence. It looks like a work of art and also a scientific document. It is a map of the game they played and a map of their thoughts.
Change is a necessary part of life,
Thinks the man. Playing is as important as winning, thinks the woman. They start to play their final game.
We hope you've enjoyed this recording. To find out more about the British Council and the services we offer, contact your local British Council office or go to www.britishcouncil.org. Bye for now.
I think you liked this activity on listening about this old game, Go, and now we are going to do activity number 2. Decide if each of the following statements about this story is true or false. Number 1. There are 4 players in Go. The Go board is square. 3. The Go board is divided into squares. 4. Stones are put on the board. 5. Go is only played in China. 6. You put the stones in the squares. 7. Many different combinations are possible in Go. Number 8. In the past, women did not play Go. 8. 9. Each player tries to invade the territory of the other player. 10. Go has been played for 500 years. 11. There are different ideas about how the game of Go started. You have 2 minutes to finish this task. And now, let's check the answers. False. 2 false, 3 true, 4 true, 5 false, 6 false, 7 true, 8 true, 9 true, 10 false, and 11 it's true. Now, you can listen to the end of the story, and your task is write the numbers of the sentences as they met in this story. He worries about the dignity of the game, the elegance of the board. She worries about getting points. Sometimes the 2 players think this game will last 3 million years. They do not place the stones in the squares. This is not a game like chess or drafts, but in the corner there will be lions meet. He rarely loses, and he has never lost to a woman. Her mind is not listening to the man, but calculating all the possible ways of placing her next stone. It looks like a work of art and also a scientific document. It is a map of the game they played and a map of their thoughts. White stones invade a black-bordered area. Black stones try to fill a white-bordered area. So, do you remember the task? Your task is to give numbers to these stories as they met in the last part of the story. If you are ready, I can show you the right answers. So the first sentence goes like, her mind is not listening to a man. And the last sentence was, it looks like a work of art and also a scientific document. If you have finished it, let's go to our next activity. Now, your task will be the following. You are going to choose the topic for your project. The little research with the name Major International Competitions in KZ and Abroad, in Kazakhstan and abroad. You will be assessed by peers on the following criteria. Number 1, you will be given 6 points as the highest score. Topic was explained clearly to the class without reading. Research was done creatively and information was very interesting. Team group work was very effective. Speaking helped to solve the problem. Vocabulary and grammar were used effectively. Design of the project was very creative. And 2 questions were asked to test the classmates' learning. Time management was effective. No less than 6 minutes. And then later we will count what's your total score. Is the research project, topic of the research project interesting for you? I think it's quite enthusiastic. Now we shall develop our speaking activities. This game's name is Define, Describe and Explain. When you see the little picture on the board, your task firstly will be give definition, then describe this object and explain what is it. Now you see the first picture. I will give you some minutes to have your thoughts and express yourself to the partner. It's a good pair work. So, define, describe and explain. Okay, the picture presented on the screen is Tugis Kumalak, a game that is played in Central Asia by 2 players. It is known in Kazakhstan as abbreviation 9 Kumalaks. This game helps to improve your attention, logic, strategy and tacts, patience, Raman vision and observation. By the way, do not forget to explain what it's made of. It's usually made of sometimes plastic, sometimes it is made of wooden, yes, and little, usually black stones inside, round stones. The next for you is this picture. What do you think about it? Tell to each other, explain, and you will see the right answer. Okay, you are right. It's Go. It's a board game for 2 players that originated in China more than 2,500,000 years ago. The game is noted for being rich in strategy, despite its relatively simple rules. According to one chess master, he said, "The rules of Go are so elegant, organic, and rigorously logical that if intelligent life forms exist elsewhere in the universe, they almost certainly play Go." And the next picture, by the way, do not forget to tell each other what it's usually made of. Yes, it's usually a large board and some stones. What can you see on this picture? Can you give definition, description, and explanation? We are ready. Okay, right you are. It's scramble. So what do you need? You need dictionary. You shouldn't use abbreviation, prefixes, suffixes standing alone, words requiring a hyphen or apostrophe. It's usually from 2 up to 4 players, 7 tiles for each player, and the first player is thus whose letter is the closest to A. Horizontally and vertically, no diagonal answers. It's very popular all over through the world. What can you see on this picture? Okay, of course it's chess. Chess is a 2-player strategy board game played on a chessboard, a checkered game board with 64 squares, arranged in an 8 by 8 grid. Chess is believed to have originated in eastern India. Okay, now what do you see on this picture? I think it's the most favorite by all the children all over the world. It's a Monopoly game. There are very many kinds, different size, different material this game is used for. But usually you need a dice, and usually you need some figures and money to buy different plants, to buy different streets and houses and so on. It's very, very popular among children and teenagers in Kazakhstan too. Now we are going to revise some practice with grammar, and the topic is the infinitive. Now I want you to remember that some verbs are followed only by the to infinitive. Look at these examples. I decided to play Go. I decided to play Go as soon as possible. We all wanted to have more chess and classes. And can you answer me, can you say me, what verbs require to infinitive? The next slide will give you some revision. So after this verb, you should use only to plus infinitive. And these verbs are thinking and feeling. Choose, decide, expect, forget, hate, hope, intend, learn, like, love, mean, plan, prefer, remember, would like, and would love. It will be perfect if you give some examples with these verbs. The next group is verbs of saying: agree, promise, and refuse. Face to each other and try to make one sentence with the to infinitive. Now you can see the third group of verbs which require infinitive. They are arrange, attempt, fail, help, manage, tend, try, and want. I think they are not new for you because I know for sure that you know these rules of verbs plus infinitive, to infinitive. Now please do not forget about complex object, that some verbs are followed by a noun plus the to infinitive. She asked him to play Scrabble after the school. Please look, asked him to play, and think about how it should be translated into Russian. He wanted all his friends to play Monopoly it. He wanted all his friends to play. And the last group is the verbs of saying: advise, ask, encourage, invite, order, persuade, remind, tell, and warn. And these two groups of other verbs allow, enable, force, get, and teach, and verbs of wanting and liking, expect, intend, would, prefer, want, would like, they are not so widespread with the to infinitive. And now I want you to be in groups and make activity number 4 of our lesson. In your groups, please discuss such very interesting question. Do online brain games make you smarter? Your task is to answer this question, prove it, and of course read about the right decision. So we are speaking about online brain games. Do they really make our children and teenagers smarter? If you have answered and try to give arguments for, we are going to read about the right decision. While reading the answer, Find the infinitive and explain their usage. More than 8,600,600 people aged 18 to 60 were asked to play online brain games designed by researchers to improve their memory, reasoning, and other skills for at least 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week. They were compared to more than 2,700 people who did not play any brain games. But they were made to spend a similar amount of time surfing the internet and answering general knowledge questions. Researchers said that people who did the brain training did not do any better on the test after 6 weeks than people who had simply been on the internet. On some sections of the test, the people who surfed the internet scored higher than those playing these games. Very interesting answer to the question. And now your task was, while reading, find the infinitives. Okay, you're quite right. Number 1, we are asked to play, to improved, and were made to spend. Do not forget about the passive construction with make, because only in this case were made to infinitive used. In active voice, after made, you must not use to spend. And now please look at your homework. In not more than 150 words, say what you think both mental games improve and develop in a person. And please do not forget that you will be assessed on your research projects you were shown during our lesson. And please do not forget to fill in self-evaluation sheet about what have I understood, have not understood, have learned, and how do I evaluate my skills. And of course, thank you for your attention as a lesson, for your participation and interaction. Thank you. You can see the list of literature and of course one very useful site. Goodbye.